Amplify. So Amplify is the division of News Corp that develops digital education products for the K-12 classroom. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about Amplify's mission and some of the tools and curricula that you're developing.
So Amplify kind of came out of my sense of where we were in K-12 throughout the country. And that is, we needed to do a lot of things. We needed to professionalize teaching, change the way we recruit people, change the way we incentivize them, make teaching here what it is in Finland, what it is in Japan. You know, in Japan they call a teacher sensei. But we also needed to help teachers in two ways. One, to give them the supports, the tools, and I could go into a long litany of what those things are, that they need to get better at their craft. Whether we think it's a good idea or not, there are 3.2 or 3.3 million teachers in America today. And even as we try to attract new people and get people more excited, more engaged, we've got to deal with our existing workforce. They're not going home tomorrow. So first thing I want to do is think about how we empower, how we assist, how we help. And technology can enable us to do that, and I'll give you lots of examples if you like. Second thing is getting kids engaged. I'm actually a big believer that the 21st century skills thing is a little overhyped. Not that there aren't 21st century skills. On the other hand, getting kids engaged is critical. Great teachers may do it so that when Jaime's in the 9th grade, he finds his math teacher lights him up like a light bulb. But we can't rely on that kind of fortuitous education program. And so using technology to get kids more engaged in the work, to do more group activities, more applied learning. We've got some technological games. I was just up in New Haven at a summer school program. These kids won't put down these games. And they're all educational games, teaching them sort of pre-calculus, pre-algebra, things like this, reading challenges. And we've got a thing called Lexica, which is a library under siege. And in order to tackle all of these awful, evil people, you've got to read more and be more knowledgeable. And it works, and the kids get excited about it. So to me, the essence of Amplify was not about technology, but about teaching and learning. And I think the big mistake in K-12 is people think technology will change it. Look, a tablet, a computer, what have you, that's totally a neutral tool. For a lot of kids, and I saw this in the school system, they're sitting there during the day texting each other, worse, looking on the internet for stuff that we would say is less than fully academic. And some of you have been in my schools, I see. And so, to me, it was never about, and it should never be about technology. It's whether technology can improve what I think is the critical interface in K-12, the interface between teaching and learning. And if it can do that, then it will have value to the system. And if it can't, it won't have any inherent value.
So I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'll open it up to you to ask more. So I wanted to talk more about the importance of technology in the classroom. So not everyone agrees that our schools need more technology. So there's one book by Amanda Ripley. I don't know if any of you have read it. It's called The Smartest Kids in the World and How They Got That Way. And she makes the point that some of the world's best performing education systems, like Finland, do not invest in technology to the extent so the United States already invests more heavily in technology than Finland and some other high-performing countries. And she makes the point that, well, maybe our resources should be better used toward teacher training and teacher salaries. So what would you say to that?
Well, first thing I say, if you haven't read Amanda's book, it's really a brilliant book and a great book. And she studies a variety of school systems throughout the world that are doing really good work, including in Finland and Poland and elsewhere. And she does make this point, and I would make two quick points in response. First of all, I actually agree with her. It's not about technology, as I just said. It's about teaching and learning. The second thing I agree with her is we've got to do everything we can to recruit the best and brightest. There will come a day when teaching is the most respected profession in America, and that's critical to how we go forward. The mix of things that incentivize a person includes a lot more than a good salary. You have to have a decent salary, but there are a whole hell of a lot of people who don't want to grow up to run hedge funds, and that's not a knock on hedge funds. But those people have got to enter a world in which they find teaching exciting, rewarding, exhilarating, not constraining, not inhibiting, not stultifying. And so we've got to create that kind of professionalization. Excellence, not length of service, has got to be the key organizing principle throughout the culture. And that's the way we need to change this. But we inherited a system which isn't Finland, quite frankly, isn't Singapore. I once talked to Lee Kuan Yew about this in Singapore, and I said, how did you figure it out? Because you recruited your best and brightest into teaching. And he said to me, I looked around, we had no resources and no business. And I said to my people, go find our best and brightest, send them to the great American universities on one condition. They come back here. We'll give them full scholarships, all 9 yards. They come back here in order to teach in our K-12 system, which he got it. So my theory is that as we do what I hope is the transformation of the teaching profession, we also need to support and get behind our current teachers. But it's not about giving kids a device or giving them an app or something like that. If it's not increasing teaching and learning, one example, and then I'll stop. We have a simple app, vocabulary app, that's on our e-reader. And so if a kid taps on a word, doesn't know the word diligent, we don't ever want to take a kid off a page. So we don't give them a dictionary, because even if we did, if you get the dictionary definition and worse, you might not get him back to the page. So now I give him a one-word synonym for diligent so he can continue reading, but I know he doesn't know diligent. And our system will drive that kid 6 to 7 mini lessons over the next 2 weeks on the word diligent. Some funny, some testing, and whatever. And then if he uses it in his e-writer, he gets extra points. This differentiates for the whole class. No teacher could possibly do that. Know that you don't know diligent, she doesn't know inspiration, etc. And we give the teacher weekly reports saying this is how many words, which words each kid's mastered. That is the value of a technological play that no teacher could do and that all teachers would be excited about. And so to me, that's the kind of thing, and I can give you lots of other examples like that, that we need to do through technology. But it's not inherently about a device.